Okay, it's time to get you up to speed on what crops you should be planting in spring specifically for that cash money. It turns out that spring's actually kind of annoying when it comes to profit with crops. But with this nice bar graph that I've made, it'll be very easy to visualize what crops we should be planting for the purpose of making money. If you're wondering where the ancient fruit is on this list, well, I didn't invite ancient fruit because ancient fruit is kind of a special case scenario. Anyways, you can clearly see from this chart that the two crops that are clearly worth planting are coffee beans and strawberries, and the ones that are not so great are parsnips, blue jazz, and tulips. But there's a little more to it than that. I would like to draw your attention to the tops of the bars where labeled is the end of season profit. Any of the numbers that have an asterisk at the end of them are indicating that they've got something special about them, and it could be something good or something bad. And if you're getting this sinking feeling that coffee bean and strawberries have an asterisk there because of something bad, you're absolutely right. You see, the problem with coffee beans and strawberries is that they're not readily available. You can't just go to Pierre's store and buy some beans or some strawberries and just get planting them. And that's why, especially to the new player, I'm going to recommend cauliflower as your go-to spring moneymaker. It makes decent money, and it's not really hard to get. You just go to Pierre's and buy some seeds, unlike rhubarb, strawberry, and coffee bean, all of which are obtained through more challenging methods. It also doesn't mean that parsnips, blue jazz, and tulips are bad and should never be planted. They have uses, it's just not for making money. But this concludes the summary part of the video, and now we're going to go more in depth into the analysis where we're going to talk about what those asterisks mean. The analysis is naturally going to cause things to slow down because there's more details to chew on, but I like to make sure that the moment you click the video is the moment you get at least the basic information that you wanted. So, let's begin. First, we're going to talk about coffee beans. They're pretty valuable, but you do have to go a little bit out of your way in order to get them. But the sooner you get them, the better. What about getting those coffee beans, though? Well, there's two ways to get them, and one of the ways is to buy it from the traveling merchant, who is available on Fridays and Sundays in the Cindersap Forest, which is the zone directly south of your farm. It's the same location that Marnie and Leah live in, and the traveling merchant herself is in the northwest area, close to the Secret Woods, which is that area blocked off by a stump. Unfortunately, the traveling merchant typically sells the coffee bean, if at all, because sometimes she doesn't carry it as stock, for 2,500 gold. Occasionally she will sell it at a discount, but typically speaking, you're going to be paying 2,500 gold, which can be a problem in spring when you've got so many things that you're trying to buy and upgrade. There is a second way to get a coffee bean, though, and that is from a dust sprite, which is an enemy in the mine. They've got about a 1% chance to drop per kill, which isn't awful, considering that they tend to attack in large swarms. You can find dust sprites in the floors 40 to 79, which are the ice sections of the mine. Now, the good news is once you get a coffee bean, you're in business because the coffee bean itself grows into a plant that actually produces more coffee beans specifically. So it actually produces more of its own seeds, and the seeds are what you would sell for money as well. To make it even better, it's a crop that grows both in spring and summer, so you get 2 consecutive months to build up your coffee farm. You can also brew coffee, the drink, if you put 5 beans of the same quality in a keg. Coffee always sells for more than the 5 beans individually, but the beans that'll give you the most profit are going to be the base value beans because the coffee does not take the quality of the bean into consideration, unlike real life. Brewed coffee is also a really good gift in the game because it's Harvey's favorite gift, and then everyone else except Jazz and Vincent like it. So you can just pass coffee out for a quick boost of friendship without too much concern. And it's really easy to remember that the two kids are not big fans of coffee. In fact, they actually hate it. It's one of their hated gifts. Okay, on to strawberries now. Strawberries are really good. They're definitely worth having. The problem with them is that they're not available until halfway into spring during the Egg Festival. The reason why this sucks for the strawberry is because it's a continuously growing crop that normally would get 5 harvests, but because you don't get it until the middle of the month, you lose 3 of the 5, and you only get 2 harvests. I still recommend that you buy some, though, at the Egg Festival and plant them, but keep the fruit. And the reason for that is because what you want to do is put them in a seed maker so that you can get more strawberry seeds and have them ready for planting in spring of next year. That is one of the ways that you can fully realize the potential of strawberries, and that's when it earns that really tall bar in the bar graph. The other way would be to use the greenhouse, which allows you to plant all year round. All right, next up is the rhubarb, which is a lot easier to explain. The only thing about rhubarb is that you have to buy it from Sandy, who lives in the Calico Desert, and the only way to get to the Calico Desert is to complete the Vault bundle in the community center, and that costs a grand total of 42,500 gold. Moving right along into the potato really only has one special thing about it, and that's when you harvest it, there's a chance that you'll get more than one potato, influenced by luck. One of the TV programs will tell you what the random daily luck is, and there are some foods that can also increase your luck. This whole bonus harvest thing that the potato has is also an attribute shared by the strawberry. Next up, we've got garlic. And the main thing about garlic is that it's not available until year 2. Once you get to year 2, you can buy them from Pierre. Finally, the last special case crops are blue jazz and tulips, which I'm going to talk about together. So what you want to know about flowers is that they're not really made for selling, but they're extremely useful. Their primary value is in increasing the value of honey if they're planted close enough to a bee house. The default value of honey is 100 gold, but tulip honey is 160 gold, so an easy 60% bonus, and blue jazz honey is 200 gold, a 100 gold bonus, and honey is made every 4 days, so it's a really easy way to just get more money. So you can see that flowers are valuable, even in money, just not in directly selling them. In addition to that, the tulip has the added benefit of being one of Evelyn's favorite gifts. Honestly, flowers are just a good gift decision in general. Only Clint, George, and Sebastian dislike flowers for the most part, so you can give the flowers out indiscriminately, knowing that they're going to at least be liked. So, to quickly recap, the best crops to plant for money in spring are strawberries and coffee beans, but they do require setup. If you don't have that setup available, I would go with the cauliflower. And there you have it. Those are the spring crops, the ones that are really profitable, the ones that aren't so profitable, as well as some of the quirks that specific crops can have. So I thank you for watching, especially if you watched the entire analysis, which I know can get a little bit dry at times. Okay, it's time for the final part of the video, which I'm calling Get Good with Fox. The way this is going to work is I'm going to post my Get Good progress reports on my art in most of my videos. And what this is basically going to do is act as a chronicle for someone who has no idea what he's doing going to someone who does. Now here's where you come in. I want you to tell me what you think down in the comments section, and don't worry, good or bad, it's supposed to be fun. Even better, if any of you are practicing art or already know how to do art, send me at my social media pages your own parsnip. Well, that's a wrap. The end of my first serious video. If you know anyone who is just getting into the game, or you're trying to get a friend into Stardew Valley for the multiplayer, share this video with them so they can get a jump start on their spring crops. And don't forget, you don't have to be good to get good.